Welcome back, sports fans. My first job in starting to mould this Ford Sierra bumper bar is to cut out the piece of 15mm MDF that I'm going to put here and on the other side of the grill opening to reduce the width of it and to create the joining flange between the three pieces of the main body mould. And I need to get the profile of the shape of this car. There's a number of ways that you could do this. Normally I'd just spend half an hour with a piece of cardboard and a pen and cut it out and cut it out and cut it out. But instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a temporary clay wall here. I'll put masking tape to protect the job. I'll put a temporary clay wall here, and I'm just going to make a strip of fiberglass with 90-degree edges on it so it won't bend. And that'll give me the exact profile of this particular place on the bar, and it should fit the other side as well. So that's what I'm going to do, make a little clay wall and then lay up some fiberglass just to make a strip to give me the profile that I can then transfer onto the MDF to make the flange joining wall. I've made my moulds of the right and the left sides of this Ford RS Cosworth Sierra front bumper bar. My next job is to make the two moulds of the centre section of this front bumper bar. I've got to make one in the race car width, which will be this same colour blue, and I've got to make one that's 30mm narrower to fit the road car. That will be purple, so I don't get them mixed up later on. All I've got to do is remove the G-clamps and then unscrew these fiberglass flanges and take them off. The MDF joining flanges will stay there for the moulding of the road width bar because of their light adhesion to the fiberglass that I've just laid. Even though these blue mould parts will never be actually bolted to the purple central section, I need to drill bolt holes through them and through the MDF joining flanges before I remove anything. Each trio of 3 main mould pieces need to be exactly aligned to one another, and by drilling holes each time I make a piece, then when I get all the pieces off this die, each pair, the blue and the purple pair, will each line up with each other. Initially, I expected that I'd just use the outer bumper moulds for both sizes of the bumper bar. But when I put the road bar on top of the die for this one, for the race bar, I found that on the sides here, there was a 45mm difference, and I'm going to have to cut that out. I can't use the same technique I used here because the edges here and the shape here are tapered, so I'm going to have to cut this and re-sculpt it on both sides. So this time I'll leave the blue centre section of the mould in place because it gives me the flanges for my joining points for the outer moulds that I've got to make. I'll take off the 2 outer blue race car width moulds. I'll chop the 45mm out on either side and sculpt it, and then I'll make a pair of purple outer moulds for the road car bar. Now, if all of this sounds like a lot of work, you'd be dead right. We'll cover that in the next episode in this series.